So good morning, everyone. I would like to thank AIOS for giving me the opportunity to present today. I have done my residency from RPC AIMS, and my study is on evaluation of posterior corneal astigmatism in normal population. I would like to thank Dr. M. Vanathi, Dr. S.K. Khokar, and Dr. Radhika Tandon, who have provided me help and support throughout my study. Financial interests are none for all authors. So, as we know, cornea is a transparent avascular structure which is responsible for 2/3 of the eye's total power. The radii of curvature of the posterior cornea are such that it makes the surface against the rule, which has an average astigmatism of 0.65
हाँ हाँ श्रुति लैपटॉप लाई है क्या यार
Please
हाँ
mute.
चाहिए अभी
I
just
request
चाहिए
everyone, apart from the speaker, kindly keep yourself on the mute.
Please go ahead with the presentation.
Yeah, so the radii of curvature of the posterior cornea are such that it makes the surface against the rule with an astigmatism averaging about 0.65 diopters, making the total astigmatism of the cornea to be 4.77 diopters, and with the rule, only 88% of the anterior corneal astigmatism is equal to the total corneal astigmatism, as posterior astigmatism counteracts the anterior one by 10 to 12%, and the posterior astigmatism ranges from minus 0.26 diopters to minus 0.76 diopters. It is a small value owing to the fact that the refractive index of the cornea and aqueous does not have much difference. And the posterior surface has more toricity and is steeper than the anterior surface. So, where comes the importance of posterior corneal astigmatism? In refractive surgery, a failure in calculating the amount of PCA with a steep meridian can cause more correction for the eyes that have with the rule astigmatism or less correction for the eyes that have against the rule astigmatism. This is because it is a minus dioptric power. And further, we know 20% of the people who have cataract have a corneal astigmatism that is more than 1.5 diopter before cataract surgery. And due to the fact that most of the eyes have a posterior astigmatism, which is against the rule, if this negligence occurs in toric intraocular lens use, it overcorrects with the rule and undercorrects against the rule astigmatism. So, the aim of our study, the primary objective was to establish normative data of posterior corneal astigmatism in North Indian eyes by measurement using ray tracing principle. The secondary objective was comparison of ray tracing and Scheimpflug imaging techniques in measuring posterior corneal astigmatism. This was a cross-sectional observational study done in Dr. R.P. Center for Ophthalmic Sciences, AIMS, New Delhi. Institute ethics clearance was obtained and informed consent was taken from all study participants. We included normal subjects of 20 to 50 years of age with normal eyes with no refractive error, and also patients reporting for near-ad, eyes having anterior segment, eyes having active infection, inflammation, any associated ocular comorbidity, corneal diseases, any posterior segment pathologies were excluded. We included 183 right eyes of 183 healthy individuals and divided it into 3 groups of 20 to 29 years, 30 to 39 years, and 40 to 49 years age. And statistical analysis was done using STATA version 12. The posterior corneal curvature was measured using Scheimpflug topographer, that is the Pentacam HR, and ray tracing LED topographer, that is the Cassini eye optics. And for comparing the two imaging modalities, as we know that astigmatism has both a value and a direction, we have to convert the astigmatism into vectors, and the conversion was done using the formulas given by Thebos, which are displayed on the screen. The mean posterior keratometry and posterior corneal astigmatism were studied. Comparison of two modalities of imaging was done using vectors generated, and since average keratometry and blur vector were parametric data, they were compared using Pearson correlation, and J0 and J45 being non-parametric were compared using Spearman correlation. Bland and Altman analysis was also done for comparison of agreement between the two measurement modalities. Our population included 115 males and 68 females within mean age of 32.74 years plus minus 8.83 years, and further groups were made, and the mean age and gender distribution is shown on the screen.
You have less than 1 minute, doctor, so you can come to the main results.
Okay, so in ray tracing, we found 117 eyes, that is 63.9% eyes had against the rule astigmatism in the posterior cornea using ray tracing imaging, and also in Scheimpflug imaging, we found 113 eyes had against the rule astigmatism, and this was consistent in all the age groups. Further, in correlation analysis, we found moderate correlation between the two imaging modalities, and in Bland and Altman analysis, we also found moderate agreement between the two imaging modalities. So, we found 63.9% by ray tracing and 61.74% by Scheimpflug imaging were against the rule astigmatism in our normative population, and there was moderate agreement in posterior corneal imaging between the two imaging modalities. So, can I continue
So
now?
no, you cannot conclude, sorry.
Okay.
So unfortunately, it
Ma'am,
can stop.
we can ask her to conclude in 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Can you just go to your conclusion slide?
Yeah. So we found predominant against the rule astigmatism in the posterior corneal surface of normal population, and vector analysis of posterior corneal astigmatism of normal eyes by ray tracing and Scheimpflug imaging showed moderate correlation between the two imaging modalities, and Bland-Altman analysis of vectors of posterior corneal astigmatism showed moderate agreement between ray tracing and Scheimpflug imaging. Thank you.